Hey guys, so I'm gonna talk about Donnie Darko. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's an amazing movie. It's about a superhero. It's about a coming to age movie. It's a religious movie. It's a lot of things in one. It's also a time travel movie, most importantly. So this movie starts off with Donnie being told that the world is going to end. And he has 28 days, however many hours and minutes and seconds, to save the entire world. And there's an object that has been moved out of one timeline and placed into another. And because this object has been moved out of its place, the world is coming to an end. And the object is the jet engine that crashes through Donnie's bedroom's ceiling, and they don't know where this engine came from. So the movie starts off, and this movie is scrambled. So don't mind me if I fuck up a little bit, because it's off the top of my head, and the movie is scrambled until Donnie sets it straight. So you have father time, you have the grandfather clock that's always watching over. The movie starts with the clock, right, in the beginning somewhere. And then you have Grandma Death. She is the angel of death. She's there when the girlfriend dies. She's there when Donnie kills Frank. She's the one that tells Frank every living creature dies alone. And where does this music come from? So there's this scene where Frank is confronting who he believes is the Antichrist, Jim Cunningham, right, with the kiddie porn dungeon. And he literally tells him, I think you're the Antichrist. Now you have 12 apostles, you have 4 horsemen, and it's weird because there's also a hint of, other than Christianity, Catholicism, you also have a hint of Odin and Thor and whatnot. So it seems like there's a few religious things mixed up, and I think that's part of what captures this movie's the set of everything being scrambled and misplaced. So it's also unclear if Donnie is Jesus Christ, the superhero, or sometimes Satan himself, because he's the one that kills Frank and whatnot, right? So everything is scrambled up, and then he's put on this path where, with the help of his apostles, he's set on this path to save not only the innocence of the world, but the world itself. The innocence is the Chinese girl. There's a scene where she is portrayed as, she's dressed up like an angel, and she is basically dancing. And then right after that comes Sparkle of Motion or something like that, where Jim Cunningham had a hand in it, and the principal, the old teacher, and then you have the 2 bullies, right? So those 4 people can be considered the 4 horsemen of Jim Cunningham, or whatever his name is, right? So he can be perceived as a devil, and the 4 horsemen causing temptation and destruction, and it's all encompassed in this lie of fear and love, right? But they're putting out all this pornography in a sense, right? Because when Sparkle Motion comes out, it's unclear whether they're like junior high school kids, whether they're elementary kids, but they're partaking in this erotic dance, and everyone is like a astounded by it. Even the Chinese girl's mom, I think that was the mom, even she's dumbfounded, and like everything is being everything is being tarnished in a sense, all the good in the world, and Donnie has to save it. So he knows he has to save it, but he's afraid, right? He's afraid of being alone and dying alone. After his girlfriend dies, and he takes off with his girlfriend, the sky starts opening up, and his mom happens to be in the airplane that's flying overhead, and it becomes evident that the mom's engine, the plane she was in, it breaks off, and Donnie is no longer afraid. He realizes he needs to sacrifice himself. He is the superhero. When the girlfriend says, is your name Donie? And Donnie Darko, that sounds like a superhero name, right? And he goes, what makes you think I'm not one? So you can view him as a superhero, you can view him as Jesus Christ, and he does a few miracles, right? He puts the axe in the head of the school mascot. He floods the school, he burns down the house, right? So he's causing destruction, right? A form of creation that the movie mentions. So there's a lot to this that's all scrambled up. And once Donnie actually finally sacrifices himself, he's laughing. He goes out laughing. He puts himself, when he's talking to his guy teacher about time travel, that Grandma Death gave him the book, and it's like, about God's path and whatnot, and as long as you follow it, you're in the right timeline. The teacher says, I can't continue this conversation, I could get fired. And basically, Donnie points at his chest and he says, like a spear. So you can view Donnie as like the thing that comes out of his chest. He goes like a spear following God's path. You can view that as the spear of destiny, or you can view the jet engine as the spear of destiny. So it's either Donnie or the engine. Either way, it's scrambled up. And once Donnie figures out he needs to be the spear of destiny, and he sacrifices himself, going out laughing peacefully in his bed, everything gets saved, everything goes back to normal, and you see like a rebirth of the movie with Donnie doomed, no longer in the picture. There's so much more to this movie, but I think I'm gonna keep it at that. I know I'm doing loops around this small community over here because I'm in the convertible and it gets loud as hell if I'm trying to record. And so that's my breakdown of Donnie Darko. I've seen that movie so many times. I might break down more movies in the future. There's so much imagery in it. There's a bunch of Masonic imagery. There is religious imagery. There is superhero imagery in the movie. It's a bunch of stuff in the movie, man. It's like it could cover a really long video. You can write out an entire thesis on this thing, man. It's an amazing movie. The writers put amazing time into writing this movie, and I don't think it got the attention it really deserved. And I don't think a lot of people are even really aware of what they're watching when they're watching the movie, and it's because it's scrambled up, but wonderful movie. Maybe I might do a breakdown on other movies like maybe Terminator 2, maybe Fight Club, maybe Gattaca, another movie I really love. I might break down maybe other movies that I find really fascinating. I'm gonna end it on that. I would love to hear you guys' opinion on Donnie Darko. At the bottom, you can correct me. My religious, I need to catch up on my religion, because I might have a lot of shit fucked up in terms of religion, you know, because I'm not a big I guess you could say I just view it rather than partake in it. So yeah, maybe you guys can correct me on certain things. Maybe you have your own opinions. I'd love to hear it. Either way, you guys have a wonderful day.